What's up with y'all out there? This is Best Way to Smoke Weekly News, and I'm Big J. Make sure you stay elevated at all times. We about to talk about this CBD update, man. The CBD update and how it pertains to the White House. What's going on, y'all? Here's the big news. Uncle Sam is finally looking at CBD. The save the date time, people, mark your calendars for April 1st, which is this week. April 1st, the White House, specifically the Office of Information and Regulatory Affairs, is officially sitting down to review the FDA's new game plan for CBD, which is a big move, and it comes with some pros and cons. We're going to get into the pros and cons shortly, but let's talk about what's on the table. So on the table is compliance enforcement, a compliance enforcement policy in plain English. The government is finally trying to figure out the rules of the road of how CBD products are sold and labeled. You know, it's been a lot of with the gray area that's been going on in the CBD industry. I think it's a good thing to kind of for that aspect of it for the businesses and for brands that actually, produce their CBD the right way to where it doesn't have heavy metals and different things like that, though, man. So the wait is almost over. The industry has been living in the Wild West scenario for years. This meeting is a huge signal that the federal government is moving from we're thinking about it to we're doing something about it. What the doing something about it is going to be, we shall find out. But let's get into the pros first before we get into the cons. The pros, why this is good news. Cleaning up the aisles. Right now, you can buy CBD at gas stations and high-end boutiques, and the quality varies wildly. So, you know what I'm saying? Meaning that you might get some good stuff, you might get some bad stuff, though. Who knows? And a lot of times you'll never know, what you're getting just by looking at it. New enforcement means sketchy products with heavy metals or fake labels are going to have much harder times staying on shelves, which is a very good pro. Here's another pro: legitimacy of the good guys. For the businesses doing things the right way, testing their batches, clear labeling, this is a win. It levels the playing field so they aren't competing against snake oil salesmen. And I'm going to say this as a disclaimer: all CBD underground or black market, quote unquote, salesmen are not snake oil salesmen. You have a lot of, good salesmen, you know what I'm saying, in the underground, man, that produce a great quality product, man, because it's the community. You know what I mean? Here's another pro: consumer safety. This is a big one. Clearer rules mean you'll actually know what's in the tincture or the gummy you're taking before bed. That's a big plus for sure, for sure. Here's another pro: the investment boost. Big banks and major retailers have been scared to touch CBD because the rules were blurry. Clearer federal guidelines could open the floodgates for more mainstream investments. So now I look at that as a pro and also look at it as a con, because that's going to have big business, coming in and taking over and kind of pushing some of the mom and pop shots out the way. That's the end of the pros. Let's get into the cons. The potential buzzkill, the red tape headache. Compliance isn't free. Small CBD businesses might struggle to keep up with expensive testing or packaging requirements, which could price out the mom and pop shops. So there's a lot of different smoke shops, around the globe. And with these smoke shops, some of them, the majority, over 50% of their sales, or their total business sales, comes from CBD derived products. So if they take a hit, it's going to be real strategic in how a lot of these businesses will probably be ending up shutting down if they can't find a way to pivot. Here's another con: the FDA's strict reputation. There's a fear that the FDA might go too far and treat CBD like a prescription drug rather than a supplement. If they get too heavy-handed, it could limit how much CBD can be in a product or where it can be sold. Huh. They might break it down to if they label it in the realm of like a prescription drug, it'll have to be something that's prescribed for you. But I think that would be a hindrance because if you keep it over the counter, then it's a lot more money that can be made over the counter. If it's pharmaceutical, it can push to really outsource, not outsource, but it could kind of push people from not getting it that probably can't afford it. Here's another con: the marketing muzzle. We might see a massive crackdown on how CBD is marketed. If a brand even hints that CBD helps with anxiety or sleep without pharmaceutical grade proof, the FDA might shut them down instantly. So, with that being said, if it does move to where it becomes a medical benefit or become pharmaceutical use, do the test that you guys need to do so you guys can understand the benefits of CBD. Because people that has been using it, we all understand how it helps us. Here's another con: it's not a law yet. This is just policy review. It's a step forward, but it doesn't mean CBD becomes fully legal in the same way as vitamin C overnight. There's still a long regulatory tunnel to crawl through. It's still a lot of steps, but these are the beginning of the steps to see exactly what can happen. Here's the bottom line, people. The government is finally stepping into the ring. While it might mean more rules and higher costs for businesses, for the average person, it means a safer, more reliable bottle of CBD. Keep your eyes on April 1st, man. Pay attention, you guys, and anybody that's involved in the CBD industry, pay attention to what's going on. April 1st, it's going to be some big news. They're going to review it. I don't know exactly if they're going to stamp it, if they like what's being put forth by the FDA, if it's going to be stamped, but there will be an update April 4th. So please just stay tuned, man, and stay tapped in with us. I'm Big J, and this is Best Way to Smoke. Make sure you follow us everywhere with the number 2. Best Way to Smoke with the number 2. I'll catch you guys next time, man, and make sure you stay elevated.